Good evening, everyone. How are we doing tonight? Oh, what have I gotten myself into? Okay, so welcome, students and distinguished guests, both physically in the room with us and those gracing us with your time and views on our YouTube live stream that we have set up now. If you're here today, it's the last session of Comics U 2025. Woo! And you know what's wild? It's not just that, it's the 10-year anniversary of Comics U. So everyone tuning in right now already knows the person I'm interviewing, and they don't really need an introduction. And I'm still going to introduce them, but I'm going to bet that some of you don't know who I am, and I feel like that's kind of important. So to introduce myself, my name is Mikkel Snyder. My media taste is best described as Epicurean to the point of being indiscriminate. I am a technical writer, pop culture journalist, slice organizer, and most pertinent to this evening's festivities, I am a Comics U alum. I have my 2014 certificate. I have my 2016 certificate.
Oh my goodness.
And I have my 2017 certificate. So, I suggested this last year as Steenz was wrapping up year 9 of Comics U, and sort of like, you know what would be really fun to celebrate 10 years? A Hot One style interview. Now, fun fact, I don't really have a spice tolerance, and I'm the one who suggested this. We're going to be fine. It's going to be great. I'm very excited. What? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. That's the point of a Hot Ones inspired interview. I get to eat the wings too. It's fine. We've been training. Don't worry about it. So here's the thing. I love Comics U. I remember the second one because I was not here for the one in 2013, but I met Steenz back in like 2012, 2013, who's to say. They were an employee, and I was at a customer at a place that no longer exists. Rest in peace, Straw Clipper. We miss you. So here we are. So I'm going to bring out our special guest, the president of the St. Louis Independent Comics Expo, current cartoonist behind Heart of the City, award-winning comics creator and editor, actual professor, one of my best friends in the world, and most importantly, the founder of Comics U, Steenz.
Hello. Yay. So happy to be here. Thank you guys for coming to celebrate year 10. I'm like really excited that I get to do this all the time. St. Louis tends to humor me when I make programming. So yeah, I'm really happy to be here.
So does anyone know, so some of y'all were asking beforehand in the back, it's sort of like, why are those hot sauces? Why are the wings? If you're somehow unfamiliar with the Hot One style interview, it's a popular YouTube format series type things. And we have the official Hot One sauces, and we are going to be eating a wing. I will be asking a question. We'll be bantering back and forth while panting. And this is going to be a good time. So
Great.
you ready?
Yeah, they're also not full because we've been training.
We've been training. We were not going into this cold.
Yeah, and I keep using them. I had to stop myself. I was like, I'm not going to have enough for the actual event.
So we're starting off with
number 1.
Shaquandra's Hot Tropic Hot Pepper Sauce.
Ooh, so. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to take all of the flats.
Okay.
Because I'm one of those people.
Fine. So,
yeah.
This hat will not stay on the entire time. I'm going to guess it's going to come off my hot sauce fry. So.
All right. All right. What's your question for me?
So, do you want me to wait until I eat the wing or just
no.
go in? Okay. So softball, hot sauce, softball question. How did Comics U come about?
So Comics U started because across the street from Star Clipper was a brewery / restaurant, Cicero's, I believe. And they had a program called Beer School. And I saw someone had a shirt that said Beer School. And I was like, I want that shirt. So I asked, where did this come from? How do I get this shirt? And they did a program where every week you come in, you learn about a certain type of beer. You get a free beer, that type that they're learning about. And then after, I think like 12 weeks, you get a free t-shirt that says Beer School. So I was like, I can make this for comics. I can absolutely do this for comics. And so that's what I did. I did it for comics. And it was in 2013, and my bosses were like, do whatever you want. You seem to get people in the store, and that's really all we care about. So go off. And that's what I did. Yeah, and that's how I make Comics U.
Do you remember how many people? You can clap. That's good. Do you remember how many people were at the very first session?
A lot. So much so that there wasn't any seating space. There were people sitting on the floors because they wanted to learn. And it was really cool because the first one was I think it was just history of comics. Real straightforward. I had Professor Dan Yesbitt come. He also did a blurb on my first book. So I love Professor Yesbitt. And he brought like a suitcase of comics. It was really cool. He came with like a blazer and he was very professional. But yeah, it was a ton of people. We didn't have a projector, so we had to borrow one from the U City Public Library. So it was really a community effort making Comics happen.
And look how far we've come then. So we have a whole live stream set up right now. We tried doing this back in 2017, and we didn't.
Yeah.
We tried. We got really close, but now look at us on YouTube officially right now. So one, not too spicy. Tastes good.
Yeah, this is delicious, and is not hot sauce.
I accidentally stole one of your flats. I apologize.
That's okay. There's plenty.
So.
Okay.
I'm gonna steal half of these for myself.
Yeah, I'm ready for the next one. Let's
All right. Going in straight to number 2. This is Just Winging It. It is hot sauce with dapsel, savina pepper, sweet mustard, lemon pepper, and garlic.
Yum. Sick. All right. So far, these are really delicious. We got our friend and baker, Teddy, to make these for us. Teddy, where are you? Yeah, there we go.
Thanks, Teddy.
Thank you, Teddy. Teddy is also the slice treasurer. We all wear a lot of hats. So
some literally.
Yeah, some literally. Kat, our tech person today, is also the slice secretary. So you know, we do a lot. We do a lot here.
Let me get the cap from you so that we don't lose any of the.
Okay, sauce. Hot sauce number 2.
All right.
Oh, this one's delicious. Delicious. It tastes like the fumigator from New Orleans.
I'm unfamiliar.
Yeah, it's really good, and it's got a alligator claw on it, so it's cool.
So now that you've had some second-level hot sauces in this weird logarithmic scale, I know it's rude to ask for favorites, but I gotta ask, what was some particularly memorable Comics U lectures that you were proud to bring to all of the young, excitable comic book artists and whatnot here in St. Louis?
That's a really good question. I have had a lot of classes. I mean, 10 years, and some of these courses were done during years we had 12 classes a summer. Yeah, I had to stop doing that. I had a life. And also, by the time you get to class 6, you're like, we're still doing this. But some of my favorites, I really liked, we did a class on comic book heroes and mythology and how they're basically like an American mythology, which is really cool. I also really love, I'm so biased with this one, but I love anytime we do a figure drawing class because I love teaching figure drawing. If I could teach figure drawing for a job and live off of that, I would. But that won't happen soon. But who knows? Who knows? You never know. So figure drawing is great. I love bringing in people. I had John Jennings come in and talk about his book and Afrofuturism. What else? What are some of your favorites?
Well, speaking of figure drawing, you shared a bunch of stuff in the Discord as you were like reminiscing. My throat has already got shot. This is not very well for the rest of this interview. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
And you shared one from like 2014, which again was the first time that I graduated, and it was a Voltron figure drawing course.
Oh yeah. So you guys know that Voltron like came to the United States through St. Louis, Missouri. And so we had a guy who would dress up as Voltron for the Voltron company and like go to cons and be like, hey, I'm Voltron. He did not do that, but that would be great. But yeah, I asked if he would be interested in doing figure drawing, and he was like, what do I have to do? And I said, stand there. And he did it. So it was really, really cool.
I mean, back in the day in Central Weston, you could actually drive by a Voltron statue that was just randomly there, and it was always once like Voltron, and now it's no longer there, and it makes you sad that Central Weston no longer has Whimsy.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, it was a really great way to like teach people about the history of Voltron in this city, to have them as our figure drawing model. Also, it's hard to draw Voltron. I don't know if anyone's tried to do that. Yeah, lots of shapes. I guess that's really all of us. We're all a bunch of shapes. But
shapes, lines, and shading.
What else did I like? I also really like anytime we get to talk about the process of actually making comics. There are so many people who want to get into the industry and have no idea where to start. And that's kind of how it was for me. I didn't know where to start. I didn't even know I could make comics as a living for a while. So I just wanted to find a way where people had somewhere they could go to get some information. You know, so many times when you're working at a comic book store, people come in and go, "Where are all the comics people?" And I'm like, "Probably at home." But being able to have Comics U, I could say, well, if you want to meet other people who are interested in comics, go to Comics U. You might find a friend or something. You never know. People do it all the time. I think there's actually a friend couple in here who met during Comics U. Yeah. So yeah, comics brings people together.
One of the things that I've also appreciated what you've done is that you've extended beyond like comics, right? Because one of
Yes.
last year's was the Tarot workshop with Tarot Mary, and that was very, it reinvigorated a love of the Arcana, which we will get to later this evening.
Yeah,
Spoilers.
that was actually a really good one. Last year was the first time that I wanted to do like a theme for all of the courses. I don't know why I wanted to do that in the ninth year of all times, but it was a really cool way to figure out how can I get all these courses to match up with what I'm trying to talk about. I think the theme was self-care
Mhm.
last year. So we had Bianca Eunice come in and talk about disability in comics. We had Sasha Mardu come in
Yep.
and talk about IFS, internal family systems. So yeah, it's really cool that I can branch out and not just focus on superhero comics or anything. Because you know, people always hear about comics and they're like, oh yeah, Superman. I'm like, yes, but
But
also more. So I think the goal for me was to like keep in mind that I want people to expand their horizons and not just get basic level information.
cool.
Yeah.
Ready for our next one?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
It's just a standard sriracha.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you know we've been training for this, and so I have a lot of opinions on all these hot sauces, and this one's at the bottom of the list because it's so basic. Like I can get sriracha anywhere. Like great, I have hot one sriracha. Cool. But I guess it's sriracha, which is good. But it's not very exciting. Not an exciting hot sauce.
Well, we get to build up. There's some
Yeah,
fun ones
that's
later.
true.
So now this is a question that I ask for every single venue that I've ever worked at doing any sort of interview. But what's a piece of media that you wish more people knew about? Not necessarily your favorite, just one that you wish was more in the zeitgeist that you could like say like, hey, can I talk to you about this thing?
Does it have to be comics?
Doesn't have to be comics. It has to be media.
Okay.
Tell the people what they need to know.
Yeah, have you guys watched Sherlock Hound? Anyone? No? Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Well, it's an anime that is basically Sherlock Holmes, but they're all dogs, and it's so cute. It's done by one of the like Ghibli animators, so it's like really well animated and so funny, just great physical humor. So if you like that sort of stuff, I recommend Sherlock Hound. It's actually on my Christmas list this year. If anyone wants to give me the Blu-ray box set, I would love that. So yeah, Sherlock Hound is pretty good. Let me take a bite of this, and,
Okay.
and you give the people another option as well.
So right now, I have always loved sports media. I will constantly talk about sports media. And one of the things that happened last year, 2 years ago, time is fake, is that everyone got really into Blue Lock, which is ostensibly a soccer anime. It is not a soccer anime. That's a bold-faced lie. It is Kuroko no Basket. It is a shonen that pretends to be a soccer anime, which is a shame because a fantastic soccer anime came out the same year, and that's Aowashi. And it is the Haikyuu of soccer anime. And if you watch Haikyuu, you know that is high praise. And if you know me, I love Haikyuu so much. So when I compare anything to Haikyuu, it's sort of like, please watch this so that way we can stop talking about Blue Lock.
Okay,
Blue Lock's fine.
Another piece of media, I would say, if you're into doing double features, which I love doing, I would say watch The Hustler and then watch The Color of Money. So they're both pool shark movies. The Hustler is really just about the seduction of gambling addiction, and it's really good. And then the second one came out 20 years later by Martin Scorsese, who didn't even want to do this movie, but he needed money so he could make his next movie. But it's actually a really good movie, also about the seduction of gambling addiction. So if you're interested in a dad movie, that's a really good one to try. Is The Hustler and The Color of Money.
Did I ever tell you that my high school calculus teacher was the founder of the MIT blackjack team?
No.
Okay. Well,
Cool.
my high school calculus teacher was the founder of the MIT blackjack team. He consulted on the movie 21.
That has nothing to do with pool, but I guess it is kind of
It's gambling.
addiction.
It's hustling.
Yeah, in a way.
About the allure of money. Your words, not mine. Oh.
But yeah, I love those movies. I love most dad movies. Crimson Tide.
That Master and Commander coming out
Master
in
and
high-definition
Commander.
Blu-ray.
Master and Commander is great. And honestly, put Russell Crowe on the screen, and I will watch it. Have you guys seen The Pope's Exorcist yet? No? Well, you should watch it, because it's not great, but really, really good at the same time.
So Russell Crowe was in 2 movies where he was an exorcist, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Was Pope's Exorcism the first one that came out? Okay.
Yeah.
So.
It's the better one.
Okay.
So don't watch the second one, whatever that one even is.
Not actually a sequel, just happens to have Russell Crowe
do multiple exorcism films. Yeah. Russell Crowe, what a guy. Okay, what do we got?
We got our number 4 hot sauce, which is a Serrano mango citra hops. These are words that mean something, I guess.
Serrano mango citra hops. So it's supposed to taste fruity and hot. Okay.
Supposedly.
All right. Yeah, it smells great though. So after this, if anyone wants to take any shots of these hot sauces, be my guest. There's no way I'm going to get through all of these by my lonesome. So yeah. Okay. So far, all of these are
manageable.
I would say more than manageable. I would say not hot. I would say not hot at all. This is just a tingling on my mouth.
Well, we have been practicing, if nothing else. So.
Okay. All right.
So this is a Hot Ones inspired interview, which means I get to mess around with the format at my whim. So we're going to do a whole bunch of rapid fire questions.
Okay, great.
So you got your chicken one, you got your process. I'm going to take a bite so I can be out of breath when I'm asking these.
Okay. This one isn't bad.
No.
But I wouldn't say it's good either.
It's a shame because it's the one. So Steenz selected 2 of the hot sauce packs, and sort of like the mango one sounds really good. I would like the mango one. It's on the lower end. I like mango, and it's a shame that it's only okay.
Yeah, well,
as it goes. So
life is life.
So we got 10 rapid fire questions. You can elaborate as much as you want because we're not in a rush for time. So
all right.
If you were a Pokemon gym leader, what type would you manage?
Electric type. That's easy. I love any electric rodent Pokemon. There are quite a few of them. The Den is my number 1 though, so I might have a whole team of the Dens, which is crazy. But yeah, I would say electric type.
And the Dene would be your ace more than likely?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Fighter, Major, Rogue.
So this is like a D&D question, which I don't like D&D. I think it's hella losery. I mean, I do D&D related stuff. My latest book is about D&D, but it's still cringe as hell in my opinion. So I'm gonna say none of them.
The original one was DPS, tank, or support. Does that sound better to you?
Yeah, I'd rather be tank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tank.
So I'm the kind of gamer that doesn't do any sort of like defensive mechanisms. It's attack.
Mm-hmm.
Why wait? So
that sounds a little bit more DPS than tanky.
I suppose you're right, but it depends. But yeah, those. Don't ask me any more D&D questions.
That was the only one that was adjacent, and it was originally DPS, tank, or support, which I would have to explain DPS, tank, and support, but I guess not.
Yeah.
This audience knows what I'm talking about. Back to the tarot. Favorite, major, arcana?
I don't have any favorites.
None?
No, I don't do tarot enough to have a favorite.
Okay.
But you know what I like, though? I like a good tarot card set. Okay. I love seeing different ways that people take different cards and illustrate them based on their background, their thought process. I think it's really, really cool. So many people do it already with like just regular playing cards, and I think it's one of the coolest things ever. You have like a base to work from, and so it's so easy for you to get creative and try new things when you have something like that. Um, but yeah, no, I like reading tarot, but I couldn't tell you anything about a single tarot card off the top of my head at all. I'm more of I use the guidebook quite a bit.
I mean, I also use the guidebook, but my favorite's the Hangman. It was my second ever tattoo. I'm very fond of having the flip perspective, seeing what's out there, sense of self-sacrifice and growing from it. So love keeping vigil.
I like knowing what other people's favorites are because it makes it easy to shop for gifts. You know,
Indeed.
like I know Kat really loves the Fool, and my husband really likes the Hermit.
Yeah.
So yeah, really good for gift giving.
So the second question is also tarot related, and
Okay.
I'm hoping that you latch more onto this one.
Okay.
So cups, pentacles, wands, or swords?
Swords.
Swords.
Yeah, because they're cool.
Swords are indeed cool. I have no
Yeah,
additional
I feel like in
comment to that.
another life I would be one of those guys that's got like want to see my sword collection. Yeah.
You strike me as the person who would be on Fortune Fire and be very good at it.
Oh, I would totally be on Fortune Fire. Yeah, blades in general are cool. Love the sharp stabby thingies.
All right. Switching gears, RGB or CMYK?
Ooh, that's a great question.
I got you.
Okay, so here's the thing about CMYK. It's got K, which is black, and you need that in everything. The thing about RGB though, you get some really nice bright colors. So I think I'm gonna have to go with CMYK, even though I don't work natively in CMYK. It just looks the best. It's got all the things that I need. Yeah, CMYK.
You don't work natively in CMYK?
No, Clip Studio does not work in CMYK.
Huh.
Yeah, that's the reason why so many people are pushing Adobe on so many creators because.
Well, that's stupid.
Well,
honestly.
Publishers really want the book to be in CMYK because it's going to have the best output, you know. But not everyone can afford Adobe Photoshop, and so there are a lot of programs out there that you can use that will get you pretty close. And then you find someone who has free Photoshop, and then they turn it into CMYK for you. Or you can, you know, sail the high seas and steal Photoshop offline, which I've never purchased Photoshop. I'll tell you that much. My dad taught me how to, you know, torrent stuff. So, you know, listen, stick it to the man, you know.
Portrait or landscape?
Portrait or landscape? I think I might have to go with portrait, mostly because I prefer portraits, but I don't know. But landscape is cool because landscape is cool. Man, this is a really good question. It's like apples and oranges, really. I guess it depends on what it is. If it's a photo, I want to see landscape. If it's a painting, I want to see portrait. If it's I'm printing on my brother printer, I'm going to do portrait in case you need it. I did that today, actually. I switched it to portrait. So yeah, I might lean towards portrait mode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Couple more. Pen, pencil, or stylus?
That's hard.
I know.
I think it's hard because I all of my actual work that I do for Heart of the City, for my graphic novels, I use a stylus. I use a Wacom Cintiq, and I've used Wacom tablets since I was a senior in high school. So I feel like my weapon of choice is a stylus, but I also am a stationery fiend. So I will buy a lot of pens, so many pens that I really don't need this many pens. But I really need this many pens. And then pencil's like an old reliable, man, you know. And another thing that's great about pencil is it lasts for a long time. So if you're signing books or your own work, sign it with a pencil, and it's actually going to last a lot longer if you sign it with anything else. And you don't have to worry about like bleeding or the kind of archival paper you're using. Pencil always works. But if I had to choose, I think I would have to go with stylus because it has brought me a lot of money in my life.
It's hard to beat that.
It's hard to beat that. And yeah, my first job was at Subway, and I used my first paycheck to buy my first tablet. And my parents were like, "What is this thing?" And I'm like, "You don't understand. This is going to change my whole life."
And it did.
And it did. And it did. And I think I don't even know if I got it new. I think I got it used. And it lasted me for like 10 years, so long that I had moved on to a different Cintiq and gave the old one away. So it's really a testament to Wacom. Not that
Remember
Wacom
when
is
technology
sponsoring
lasted
this.
forever?
I mean, Wacom does, you
Okay,
know,
okay.
like not to, they're like I said, they're not sponsoring this course or this interview,
Yeah.
but not yet. Ooh, not yet. I like that. Yeah, you never know. But yeah, when it works, it works, you know.
Three more rapid fire.
Okay.
Gouache, oil, pastel, or watercolor?
Watercolor is not even in the game.
Not even in the game.
No,
Okay.
unfortunately. I'm gonna have to say gouache. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's a perfect mix of like watercolor and acrylic paint if you've ever used it. And the vibrancy is just amazing. And I remember wanting to try it because I think it was Kevin Wada who was using it. This is an illustrator that does a lot of covers for single issue comics. And I think I was watching them use it on like it couldn't have been YouTube. It was whatever it was. I remember typing, "What are you using?" And they responded gouache, and I was like, "I'm talking to a celebrity." And then I was like, "How do you pronounce that?" And they're like, "I don't know." But gouache has always like held a special place in my heart because when I finally was able to like buy my own set and I tried it out, I painted my cat Ripley, and it was the best painting I've ever done, I think. So yeah, I attribute that entirely to the medium
All
for
right.
sure.
And now to wrap up our rapid fire, we have two slice-related questions.
Ooh.
So you can see Mr. Slice peeking out from beyond the table on stream. I worked very hard to make sure he was visible. So they were visible. Which Mr. Slice? Blue, yellow, or pink?
Yellow.
Yellow. Yellow
Yeah.
Slice is the canon slice.
Yeah, well, I don't know which one Critica drew first, but I do know that yellow is my favorite color. So
Okay.
I always use yellow slice.
Gotcha.
Yes.
I'm blue myself, obviously.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
and then finally, our last rapid fire. Mr. Slice's weapon of choice for you.
Okay, so his pencil, his X-Acto knife, or his brayer.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to go with the X-Acto knife
Sharp object.
for sharp objects, blades. I want to show everyone my swords.
Yeah.
Also, I do a lot of model building. So ships, sceneries. I mean, anything that's itty bitty and takes a lot of time and effort, I'm into it. And so I've got like my favorite X-Acto knife that my husband keeps using to open boxes.
No.
But that's okay. I use them to open boxes too after he started doing it, and I was just like, now we're all doing it. And this
Now we're all culpable. The blame's to share. So
yeah.
So that was a rapid fire
That was a
round.
good one. I
got
like
you.
that.
I got you. So we're moving
Okay.
on. This is the last of the lower sauces.
Yeah, now we're getting into it. Okay, hook and arrow, sauerkraut and mustard. So I found out that I love sauerkraut. I had never thought that I would like it because it sounds scary.
You
And
never had a Reuben before?
no. And anybody see The Wiz? Anyone? Okay, well,
Not yet.
well, in the film, that's a lot of hot sauce. That's all right. It's
You like sauerkraut, remember?
I like sauerkraut. Yeah. No, in the film, Eveline, the Wicked Witch, was threatening to kill Toto and asked if she wanted mustard or sauerkraut on your hot dog. She was going to put the dog in like an oven. And ever since, I was like, sauerkraut's terrible. But yeah, after I had it, I was like, I would absolutely put this on a hot dog. So yeah, learned a new food interest.
Right, so while you buy it, I'll ask, you've been doing this for a decade. What are the biggest lessons and takeaways that you've gotten from running an event for 10 years that is Comics U?
Biggest lesson and takeaway. You'd be surprised how many moms want their kids to come to this course. even though I pretty explicitly said this is an adult course. I think it's cool that so many people want to do this. I'm always surprised anytime we get, over 10 people. Just because, I don't have a lot of money, behind me, but I have a lot of support, a lot of community support. And so because I have that community support, I feel like I have the ability to do so much more. Um, but biggest takeaway might be do 6 courses instead of 12. Um, 12 was a lot. 12 was a lot. It offered people time to like get stuff. The original class, the punch card, it's time.
It's fine.
The original punch card for Comics U, because there were 12 courses, every third star you get a prize. And so it like encouraged people to keep coming back. Even if they didn't finish all 12, they were still going to get something. And I would like reach out to local businesses and see if they wanted to donate anything. And I think that figuring out what people wanted out of the course was really cool. And I also like really appreciated that I got to really make relationships in my community. So many people I have found, not just because they came to the course, but because they heard about it, or they sent their friend to it, or they donated something for it. And I think one of my favorite parts about anything is being amongst people. I love people so much. And I think Comics U has allowed me to be around a lot of people all the time. But yeah, 6 courses instead of 12. Love people, but I do have a life, you guys. Also, once I started teaching professionally, like for money, I realized, oh, I'm not doing this during the fall semester or the spring semester. That's crazy. So keeping it primarily in the summer was a really good idea. And it kind of helped people get the idea of what the thing is, because some people would be like, what's Comics University? Is it like a year-long thing? Now I have a way to say, like, this is a summer program, it's summer school, essentially. So I had to work out a lot of kinks, I think, when I first started. But now I feel like I could organize Comics U in my sleep,
Probably could. You could organize a lot of things in your sleep, but I'm only here because of Comics U. It's one of the ways that we got to be friends before I got roped into a Starfinder campaign with y'all.
That's right. That's right. I feel like I just love making friends. I love making friends. I love being around people. And Comics U not only is a good service for the community, but it's like a good service for me as a person to be able to interact. And yeah,
We love community.
Yeah, I love people.
So, like I said, the hat's not staying on.
Yeah.
All right. So that was the easy part. 6 is like the one that sort of like surprised us, and then 7 was the disappointment, and then we'll talk about 8 when we get to 8. So,
yeah. Okay.
So.
All right. I want this one.
Okay. We have the tropical amarillo. I can't pronounce anything right now.
This is tropical amarillo hot sauce. Heat level 6 out of 10. Okay.
So I trained by doing like a staggered serial testing. So I did each one in rapid succession and then stopped and sort of like, this is my breaking point. 6 was my breaking point the first time that I tried this. Steenz did the 1 a day approach for a while.
Every morning I would fry an egg and I would put whatever hot sauce of the day was on it. And it was a really fun experiment. I didn't realize how much I liked hot sauce until I did this. So maybe now I'm like a hot sauce guy.
And I can understand the appeal theoretically.
Yeah. Have you guys ever? There's a show on Hulu called Pepper People, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's about people who love hot sauce and like eating hot peppers. And so it's people who do that, like pepper eating, but also people who grow hot peppers, and then people who sell hot sauce. And it's a really cool docu-series about spicy eating. So if you're interested in that, Pepper People, Hulu.
Good to know. All right, so let's enter into the second half of this interview.
Okay.
In what ways has your personal and professional life changed because of the existence of Comics U?
Well, I think number one is I had done Comics U at Star Clipper.
Mm-hmm.
And I also met the Ink and Drink Comics crew at Star Clipper. If you were here for Jim Ousley's program, that is how Jim got started in making comics, was through Ink and Drink, and that's also how I got started into making comics. And so, yeah, this one's hot, but this one's delicious. Okay, what was I talking about? Hold on. Ink and Drink, Jim Ousley, and all of them. Okay, so when I started doing Comics U, they were so supportive of Comics U. And, I would see people come to class. I would ask them to volunteer to teach sometimes. And one of the people that I met from Ink and Drink, their name is Chris Sagavac. And they work at Webster University. And after I was let go from my publishing job, I, put it out on the internet, hey, I'm looking for work. Help me out. And Chris reached out to me because he had just been promoted to head of the animation department at Webster. And because of that, he didn't have anyone to teach his cartooning course. And so he reached out to me to see if I wanted to teach the cartooning course. And he was like, well, with your history with education, with Comics U. And I was like, I get volunteers to teach. I don't know if I can do it. And he was also like, but you also are a cartoonist. That's your job. So you have the experience. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'll say yes, but I didn't finish college, so how does that gonna work? And he was like, trust me, the fact that you have this wealth of experience and you do so much education work, you will be fine. And I was like, okay. And yeah, so now I've been teaching at Webster for like 6 years now, and yay. Yeah, I think next year is when I get my annual raise. I'm very excited about that. Love to be paid. So yeah, I don't think I feel like if I didn't have Comics U, I don't know if Chris would have asked me to do that. So I definitely attribute Comics U to getting me started in higher education. Also, I think I just got used to asking people for stuff because Comics U was an entirely volunteer-run situation until 2022. And so I really had to butter people up and be like, listen, you're so great at your knowledge. Wouldn't you want to spread the knowledge and help out a couple of young cartoonists? And every time they're like, of course, I'd love to do that. I'll do it for free. And so I'm really happy that now we can pay all of our teachers. Yeah. Big thanks to Slice for giving us that money for it. But yeah, being email savvy, I feel like Comics U helped me out a lot with that, for sure.
That's professional aspect. Any personal changes that have arose? Language is weird right now.
Personal. Honestly, I think. So obviously, if I wouldn't have Comics U, I wouldn't have had teaching. But I think that teaching has made me love Comics U more too, because as much as I love teaching at a university, it does cost money to go to school, and a lot of people cannot afford to go to college. And I feel like that shouldn't be the barrier to learning is tuition. And so I think that feeling got even stronger when I started teaching, so that I really put more and more effort into Comics U because I want more people to know that they don't have to spend an arm and a leg to get the education, especially when St. Louis has so many comics creators, and now that we've got Slice here as well, I love that I can let people know that there are other options out there for you, I love to help.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on to the next one.
I think we're going on to 7.
Okay, I only took a small bite of the other one.
So you do you. I have something in my magical bag of stuff off in the corner that I want to share with the group in order to prepare for the next one.
Goodness gracious. You have so many surprises.
You don't even know. So, as I showed off all of my certificates, I now get to show off my t-shirt collection. So I'm wearing the 2014 one here.
2014? This is 2024, last year.
So this is the original 2013 that I don't know how I got access to because I did not go there. I was in Wisconsin at the time. But I
That's
have the
a
shirt.
good question. How do you have this?
I think you gave it to me because I kept showing up to things.
Oh
You were
my
like, you would
God.
appreciate this, and you
Yeah.
were correct.
Yeah.
It's well loved. It got hot glue on it at some point, so there's a little tear in it. So
Yeah, I did the look, graphic design is not my passion. But somebody had to do it for when I was at Star Clipper. So I got online and was like, all right, custom ink, you got to help me out here. But I'm really happy that this year I got to work with Betty's Books to do the illustration on the back. I'm gonna stand up so you guys can see it.
I also have the shirt in my
Yeah.
hand. Okay.
Yeah, very cool.
You got the 2016 when this was at the library.
Oh yeah. So after I left the comic book store, I started working at the library. And one of the things that I think helped me get the library job, I was like, yo, I've got events under my belt. So if you hire me, you're gonna get all those events. And they were like, sick, you're hired. So yeah, I was really happy that I was able to bring it to the library.
The 2017 library one.
I hate this one. It just is so
We can hide it. It's fine.
stupid. Yeah. I just anything that has like Biff, Bat, Pow, Bam, I'm like, oh my God, what are we, 7? Like, this is an adult program.
And then finally, from last year, when I became
year.
staff.
Yay. That's great. Yeah, there were some years that we couldn't get t-shirts because, I was working at the library and I was like, does the library have money for this? And they're like, no. So I wasn't able to get t-shirts for every single year. But that's all right. The ones I have are great.
Well, now that we've done a show and tell, that preludes into 7.
Okay.
So we have the weakest of all of the hot sauces. It's an apricot sauce.
Yeah, like apricot
Slice.
hot. Yeah.
This does not taste like anything really. It was very watery when I tried it.
I think
had
it's
no
going to
heat.
continue to be watery.
Yeah.
You are supposed to shake them up before you pour them.
Oh, I've been doing that entirely incorrectly then.
Yeah, that's all right. We
Too
can
late.
start now. We can start now. It's never too late.
It's never too late. We can correct things. So we've done the gauntlet. So throughout its lifespan, Comics U has been through 3 different venues, a pandemic, and has now been attached to a similarly impacted arts program with the former St. Louis Small Press Expo and now the St. Louis Independent Comics Expo.
Mm-hmm.
Were you ever worried?
Worried about what?
Okay, there you go.
Worried? What do you mean? Worried about what?
There were lots of changes. Venue shifts can be difficult. There was a whole... No, okay.
No, I wasn't worried about that. I think by the time I had moved to working at the library, I was like a pro at running events. I almost never really, really worry. I worry the 30 minutes before something, I just get really sweaty and my heart is racing and I'm like, why am I nervous? I'm so good at this. And then the second it starts, I'm like, it's fine. So yeah, I don't have long-term worries, just 30 minutes before when I start seeing people and I'm like, oh yeah, this is happening.
So at no point, no hesitation. It was very much sort of like, I'm ready. Global pandemic hits. It was like, this will be fine. We'll come back even stronger.
I mean, I was very sad that I couldn't do
Okay.
Comics U 2020 and 2021.
Mm-hmm.
But I also knew that the world was on lockdown, so I wasn't that sad. What was really annoying is someone had asked me if I wanted to sell Comics U to them. Because I hadn't done it in 2021 and 2020. And I was like, no, it's not for sale. And also, what? Why would you ask me that? That's crazy. So yeah, no, it's not for sale and it's not for sale today. But yeah, I don't worry too much about event programming.
Okay.
I'm pretty confident in my skills.
Okay.
Yeah. I worry about stuff like, I don't know, filling out paperwork in time and how am I supposed to get to the grocery store because I've run out of cheese? That sort of stuff is really what gets me. Doing events, yeah, I can do it in my sleep. I love doing it. I love it so much. I don't love it as much as teaching though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now you get to teach and do event programming at the same time sometimes.
It's great. It's great.
So let's finish consuming this very weak sauce and then continue on with our lives.
It's so gross.
It just doesn't taste like anything, which is the most offensive thing, really.
No, I'll tell you what it tastes like. Nasty. It's not good. Yeah. Ugh. I'm not eating the rest of that. I have free will. Okay.
All right. So this was the worst one. 8 sucked. 8 took me out. It was bad.
This one is da bomb. If you've watched any of Hot Ones, you know it's the worst one. Here it is.
So we're going to take a bite, and then I'm going to go back to my little bag of tricks.
Okay, great.
Hey, Alan, can you get another glass of water prepped in the back?
it's just when you know it comes out slow, it's because it's like filled with peppers. The ingredients on a lot of them are like pepper, vinegar, flavor, citrus. The ingredients in this is just pepper. It's just pepper.
9 and 10 were nothing because my tongue was still recoiling from this. So.
Okay. Mind over matter. You know what I learned how to do this weekend? I learned how to put out my joints on my tongue. So if I can do that, I can do this. I have the power. I have the power.
Once again, this was my idea. I suggested this.
Yeah, I don't know why I say yeah. Okay.
It makes for good content.
Okay. Oh my god.
I'm gonna join you shortly, so just give me a sec.
I brought milk. Yeah, almond milk. Yeah. Oh, okay. You gotta ask a question now. You gotta ask a question. You gotta ask me a question.
Well, so we're doing an activity because I get to change the thing. So.
Great. Excellent. We love an activity.
We love an activity.
Sharpie? Oh my god. Are we making graffiti? Are we doing graffiti?
I'm gonna ask you to teach me how to draw heart. While we're both suffering from this hot spot. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. So I'm not gonna look at you, so I'm just gonna go. So
okay.
How do we manage this? It's okay. Just ignore the burning sensation in your mouth.
Okay, so Hart Lamar is the main character of Heart of the City.
Yeah.
Which is the comic that I write.
Uh-huh.
Oh my
Talk
god.
faster.
Okay. First things first, I draw the eyes. I draw the eyes first.
Okay.
So, do you know what a parenthesis looks like?
Yes, I know what a parenthesis looks like.
Okay, instead of having it like this, I want you to rotate it 90 degrees.
Okay.
Okay, and you draw two of them next to each other.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
I've
already seen what you're drawing, and you did not do what I asked you.
You said 2 parentheses.
2 parentheses. What did you just draw?
I draw 4 parentheses.
You drew 4 of them. Because you were like, let me draw some eyes.
Look, I'm in pain right now.
Yeah, I would like you to start over.
Oh.
I want you to scratch out what you've got and start over. Yeah, you have to.
So 2 sideways parentheses.
That's right, right next to each other. Perfect. Okay, now you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to flip it 180.
Okay. I did ask for instructions. This is on me.
So in the middle of these parentheses, you're going to put 2 dots, as these are her pupils. Then you're going to draw a little oval, a horizontal oval, in between the eyes. That is her nose. Oh my god, my eyes are watering so much.
Yeah.
I can't even look at what I'm looking at.
Little over.
Okay. Little oval. Draw any mouth you want, because Heart does a lot of different faces. So I'm gonna do the face that I'm feeling right now. Which is pain. Yeah.
Pain.
Okay. Then I usually draw her in a 3/4 view because I'm an artist, and it's the easiest way. So do you know what the number 3 looks like?
Yes, I know that much.
Okay, I want you to draw the number 3 to the right of this face.
Okay.
But the full number should be the size of like all that you've already drawn. So you're not just drawing an itty bitty number 3. This is basically a big 3, and you can kind of make it less 3-shaped if you want. And then you're gonna take. Have you ever been on a slide?
I have. I'm familiar with the concept of a slide. I used to work next to one. Yes.
So you're gonna draw a slide that goes from the top left of her face down to like right below her mouth, and it will connect to the bottom of your 3. This is the rest of her face, yeah.
So is it like two arc lines for the slide? Yeah.
What you've got is correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not actually,
Yeah,
but
quote
that's
unquote
fine.
correct. Yeah. And then you're gonna put some ears on her. Put them where ears usually go, which is to the left and right of your eyes.
I lost the plot somewhere. It's fine. It's fine.
Think about where you would believe ears to be.
Yeah, I think the 3 is where the issue is. Oh, it's
Yeah.
fine. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Then have you seen how kids draw clouds?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I want you to basically draw a cloud for her bangs.
So I'm going to reuse my failed eye parentheses and just turn those into clouds.
Great. Great.
So economy of space.
Yeah, you've got her bangs. And then her ponytail is going to come out of the back right of her head. So,
back right. Okay, okay.
And what shape is it?
It still hurts.
It's kind of phallic, honestly, the shape, if I'm trying to explain it.
I can work with that.
Yeah, but instead of like 2 balls, put 3.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, but remember her hair is like long, so it should go down to her neck, not at her ears. She does not have a short haircut. You know this. You read Heart every single day. Make it longer. Keep going. There you go. All right, now add in the 3 balls at the bottom. At the bottom, that's where they go. 1.
That was
2, 3. Great. All right, now you've drawn Heart. Heart of the city.
Oh, no. Not even a little.
Great.
But that's why we do these things, because they're entertaining.
I feel like I'm a great teacher. So.
I'm just a bad drawer. I just thought that'd be fun.
I don't know how things got turned around.
I don't know what's happening at any given time. Also, my eyes were still watering, and I was scared to use my napkins because there was hot sauce on them. So.
All right. I'm like already shaking, so we gotta get to 9.
We gotta get to 9. Okay.
Yeah. We gotta get to 9. All right, it's gonna be good. This one is called a sucker punch sauce. It's
This one's fine. 8 is the worst one, honestly.
It's 9 out of 10, and it's super hot and sour. And I really like this one because the drawing is of a nerd fighting another nerd, I guess. Because I mean, they both wear glasses, and I feel like if you wear glasses, you're like a nerd. Because I watch TV, that's what it says. But this guy's like a buff. So this weak nerd is fighting this buff nerd, and the speech balloon says, "I'm so sorry." So I really would love to know the story behind the sucker punch sauce and who these nerds are, because one of them kind of looks like Jeff Bezos.
If only.
Yeah, that's a lot of hot sauce. I don't care. We're doing it live. We're going. I really like this hot sauce.
And that's why you're just lavering it. Oh.
Yeah. You go hard or go home, as they say.
I don't know.
The bad part is that my plate has da bomb all over it. So when I'm rolling my wing in the sucker punch one, I'm probably also rolling it in the bomb, but it all goes to the same place, right?
I will say this was the one that made me like, oh, I understand why people could like hot sauce. I will not be one of those people, but it's a fun thing to try every so often.
Oh, it's so good. It's so hot, but it's so good. It's so sour. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. No, it's good. It's good.
It's the afterburn that works more than the initial bite.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just gonna gulp this down and then I'll ask.
Oh yeah, I do need a milk sponsor. I usually go for Silk. Silk almond milk, original flavor.
Okay. You hear about Silk? We're open for it.
What do we have? Yeah, Silk as a future sponsor. What was the other one?
The tablet.
Malcolm's gonna be a sponsor. Excellent.
So, what comes next? What's gonna happen in year 11 onward? How long do you think this is gonna keep going for?
Well, that's a really good question. I think I'm gonna do it as long as I enjoy doing it. You know, if ever there's a time where I'm like, this shit again, that's when I'll probably quit, because you know it's my program. I can decide how long I want to do it. I also know that At the beginning of like every year, I'm always like, Comics U, I hope people come. And then at the end of every year, I'm always like, I love doing this program. So many graduates. I can't wait for next year. That's how I feel this year. So I don't know, as long as I can. I wish someone else had done it so I could try and beat their score. Because that's kind of what I'm trying to do with Heart of the City.
You can do it. You can do it.
The original creator did the comic for I think 21 years. So I got to do the comic for 22 at the very least. And I'm already at 5. So it's just a couple more.
Just a couple more. It's a couple more.
It's just a few more years. I honestly, as long as Andrews McNeil will have me, I will keep making these stories. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
I hope forever. I think I want to do more themed years because last year was really cool and I think everyone really appreciated the fact that I like tried to keep them all in the same theme.
We're almost done.
Almond milk is so good, you guys. Oh my god.
Yeah, a couple more of these.
You should have had almond milk, dude. This is the way to go. Yeah, so I'd like to do some with more themes. I also think I need to maybe invest in like a nice projector. It'll be good. Eventually, I want to register the copyright for Comics University as well. Not because I want to make any money off of it. I just feel like it's mine, and I don't know. Seems like the right thing to do.
Known it for 10 years. It is yours, all functionally.
Yeah. So. How many people think I should register for copyright? Okay.
Okay, unanimous. It passes.
Yeah.
It was going to go through anyway. We didn't actually have a say. That's one of the lovely things about Steenz that any of us like, do you want my pen? It's like, no, thank you. I appreciate it, but no, I'm good. I got this.
Yeah. One thing I don't want to do in the next few years, I don't want this to get too big. I don't want this to be something where like there's a waiting list and you can't get in. I don't want there to be a situation where it's like I have to organize like 3 different Comics U's at like 5 different locations, or because that kind of ruins like my enjoyment of it. I like a more intimate setting, and I also I kind of like when people are like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that there even was a Comics U. Like, I just came for like the last, 2 classes, because then it's like, well, don't worry, because it'll be here next year, It's always going to come back, unless I die.
It's just the hot sauces. Don't worry about it.
It's the hot sauces driving me to say stuff like this. If I do die, I would hope that there's at least one, and I get like a video where it's with the Vitamin C's graduation song, where it's like, as we go on,
we remember.
Yeah, I would like that at the beginning of the series. So
Noted.
If anyone can make that happen, that'd be great.
Hopefully that won't come until far, far into the future.
Yeah, right. I've got at least 70 years, I'm going to be like 100, so yeah, I got time.
One more?
Yeah.
We've come this far. What's the worst that could happen?
I love tempting fate by saying that. What is the worst that could happen?
What is the worst that could happen? You tell us.
Yeah, no, don't touch your eyes. Okay, what's the question?
What's the question?
This is like not even coming out. Oh my god.
What do you hope your legacy is?
Oh, what a nice question. What I hope my legacy is. I hope when people are interviewed about their work, their magnum opus, they're like, and they get asked, what made you start comics? They say, well, I went to Comics U in St. Louis. I hope that, I don't know, that's really it. That's what I want to have with my legacy. I want to be someone's first experience getting into comics. That's it, yeah. Because then I know that I've like opened them up to a world of wonder and suffering and I mean, comics are hard. They take a long time to do. They require a lot of thought, so much thought. And, it just, if I could be the person that's like, look at the things that you can do with your art, I want to be that person. Because I didn't have that when I was growing up, like, at all. When I went to school, I didn't even know. I didn't know how comics were made. I didn't even like consider that a part of like the arts field. All I had was like be a gallery artist, be a graphic designer, be an interior designer, and I was like, I don't want to do any of those things. So I guess I'm dropping out because I don't want to do any of this. And I ended up working at the comic book store, and I was like, oh my God, I should be making comics. So like, I don't want anyone else to have to go through the hard decision of dropping out of school because they don't know what they want to do with their art. I want them to stumble upon something like Comics U and be like, oh, I have options. I have a future. I can do so many things.
That ends the interview. Let's take this last bite together, and then we're going to do a Q&A with the audience. So ready?
I hope you guys have some good questions. Okay, ready? Last one.
But...
It's the last dab. Okay. Oh no. I told myself I wouldn't get it on my lips, and I got the last ones on my mouth. Oh my God. This one does not taste as good as the second to last one. I'm gonna go back for more.
I think Aiden. Nope. One moment.
This one's actually not bad for me. I don't know what it is.
I think it's a succession of it. Like once you get to 8 and 9, 10, it's sort of like, yeah, no, you're good. Like scaling gets weird at this level.
Yeah, I'm like still shaking. This is a lot of heat. Okay, great. Give me some questions. Who's got some cues?
So before, you got a little astronaut who's gonna travel with the mic so that way people can hear.
Oh, great. That's so cute. Oh.
So, Kat, would you mind taking an astronaut to anyone in the audience who has questions for us?
Anyone at all? Can I ask you what I had for breakfast today?
Hot wings are optional when you ask a question. So.
Questions. Anyone? Do you need any advice?
We have one in the front?
Yes.
We have two in the front.
Let's go.
I was curious, like, how you figure out scheduling since you say you love doing events and organizing while doing comics, and I feel like, at least for me, like, doing that takes a lot of energy out, so when I don't plan it, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So doing that professionally, I think having a reference to, like, how you schedule and how you approach it would be nice.
Yeah. So when I think about programming, the first thing I think about is first of all, what is a program? So let's make up a program right now. We're making up the Hot Ones experience. You get to come to Betty's Books and drink hot sauce. Now we have an event. All right, when do we want it to happen? I want to reach out to the venue. I want to say, what days are you free? And they're going to give me a date. They're going to say September 29th, your birthday. I'm going to say, great. I won't go. I'll be celebrating my birthday, but that's a great date. And then I start working backwards from that date. I start to think to myself, how much marketing do I need for the hot sauce experience? And oh wow, so dizzy. This is so hot. How much marketing do I need for the Hot Ones experience? If I say I want to post about it 3 times a week in the week leading up, once a week, the month leading up, every couple months. So now I have myself a posting schedule. And then I think about what are the things that I need in order to make it work. I need hot wings. I need hot sauce. How long does it take for hot sauce to get to me in the mail? 2 weeks. So that means I put that on the calendar at least 3 weeks before the actual thing in case of, catastrophe like USPS burned down. And then I think about what do I need besides the hot sauce? Do I need chairs? So it's really more of a thing of what do I need to make this happen and how long is it going to take me to get those things to work? And I make sure to put in enough buffer time in case of catastrophe. And I never know what catastrophe could be. None of us do. So I just do the best that I can with that. And I utilize Google Calendar. This is not sponsored by Google.
We don't want to be sponsored.
We don't want to be sponsored by Google. But I utilize a calendar a lot, and that helps a lot. I don't like keeping things in my head. My head is meant for daydreaming, and thinking of jokes. So that's why I put it on the calendar. So every morning I wake up, I say, what's on the calendar today? Oh, I have to order my hot sauces. And so I go online and I order my hot sauces. So yeah, does that help? I think that's the way to go, in my opinion. Think about it, work backwards, give yourself buffer time for catastrophe. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
How you doing? And it's nice to meet you.
Mm,
My name is Tevin Singleton. I'm a comic book artist,
yeah.
and everything you said about comic books was just so intriguing. And like the university, like I've never heard of that. Like I'm a '90s baby, so it's like this is so new to me. Like an actual university for comic books,
That's
like
right.
that
Well,
is
it's not
amazing.
accredited.
It's not great. It's all right. It's gonna get there. It's all
Yeah.
right. It's gonna get there. Just keep going, and I love it. So I'm working on mine now, and I'm in the inking process of it. And I want to know like what is like some advice like to where to go from here, like or like what type of avenue is the right one for me to like just see where it goes,
Yeah.
and then like book signings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm interested to know about all of that. Like
Okay. Okay.
if you can, just take time.
No, I think
Yeah.
about it. I think about it.
Okay.
I guess the first question is, how long is your comic?
How long is it?
Yeah.
So the first chapter.
The first chapter.
Yeah. So listen.
Okay, I'm gonna
So
need you
yeah.
to
So
back it up. Back it
okay,
up.
back it up.
So work smaller first. I
Right.
want you to I want you to finish a zine. I want you to finish a 6-page zine, a foldable zine. And then I want you to print those zines at your local library. And then I want you to go to a local bookstore and ask them, do you sell local work? And can I sell these here? Do you guys do any programming? Can I probably like talk to people about my, small comic that I just did?
Hmm.
Out of this, you've then made a friend with the bookstore. You've learned how to print things off. And now you know how to talk to people because people are going to come up to you and be like, why'd you make this comic? Do you do this for a living? They're going to do all those sorts of things. And all of that is basically what doing the same, do that for every step. So once you can do that, now you can do that with a 23-page comic, which is like the standard number for a single issue comic. But it's going to be a little different. Now you're going
Yeah.
to
So.
need a front cover, a back cover. You're going to have to find a printer. I recommend the Dunn department here in St. Louis. They're really great.
Okay.
And then you think about, okay, now that I've got these comics in my hands, I've already, tabled at my local bookstore. What's my next step? I think I want to table at a convention. You apply for a convention. You may not get in. That's okay. You keep applying. Eventually, someone will let you in. And then by that time, you'll have made 3 to 5 single issue comics. So I say, look at the entire picture and work on executing on the entire thing from beginning to end first. That way you'll know how to do it when you get higher. Because if you just start and start with and you have no idea where you want to go with it, you don't even have an ending, great process, great opportunity for you to learn what you're doing and why you're doing it and how you're doing it. But when it comes to the business aspect of it, it's not going to work, unfortunately. That it really works best for webcomics if you're going to do that.
Mm.
So think about, what do you want out of this? Do you want to sell it or do you not? Do you want people to read it? And if you want people to read it, how do you want people to read it? You have to ask yourself all these questions before you can actually even begin figuring out where to go next. But you're already inking chapter 1 of your, I assume, 50 chapter magnum opus. How
No.
long is?
So yeah. So my
Yeah.
plan is to have like a volume. Is to work on the volume. So.
Yeah, so people don't just work on volumes. What they do is they do small ones, and then someone's like, these are great, let's collect them into a volume. That's the only way it happens.
Well, yeah, that's my definition of a volume. Like
Yeah,
a small, like
So you gotta start
yeah.
ET,
Mhm.
BT, smaller than chapter 1, smaller. Because if you can execute from beginning to end, I'm telling you, everything else is gonna be easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So
Okay, that's exactly how it's looking too.
great.
From beginning to end. But, okay, thank you so
Yes,
much.
you're so welcome. Two more cues. Let's go. We have one in the back.
I don't know who to go first. Hi. how do you keep events like Comics U and like Slice like funded without just like begging people for money?
So in the first few years, I paid out of pocket. I was making more money because I had started making, I was doing Heart of the City. So I was making like a way more money than I had ever made before. And I was like, I can pay people now. And so I like set away a portion of money so that I could pay my teachers. And then after that, though, Slice is through grants. So you apply for grants. The RAC has a lot of grants, the Regional Arts Commission. They do individual grants. They do organizational grants, all sorts of stuff. Also here in St. Louis, all of our hotels are taxed. And a lot of the taxes that come from these hotels go directly into the Regional Arts Commission. And so I don't know, when we were having a lot of the federal cuts to grants in this last year, we were concerned, like, what's going to happen to the RAC? But thankfully, we have hotels, so we don't need your stinking federal money. But grants mostly. And then also we have sponsors. Sponsors will pay as well. Betty's Books is a sponsor. And so we've got multiple levels for sponsorship too, and then they get something out of it. So, we've got from as low as $100 to $1,000, however much. And people like being able to be sponsors because then they can put their logo on stuff. They can say, that they've been a sponsor of this big event. So it's worthwhile for them to want to be a sponsor. But the bigger the show, the more money you're gonna have to need. So that's why I always say, like, start with a smaller event that you want to do that's maybe for like 30 people, and if you only need like $150 to do it, maybe you just start saving up your own $150, and then the next time you do it, you tell people, hey, we had this event that was really successful, X amount of people came, and we'd love to continue it. Would you be interested in helping us pay for this? So just, you have to be ready to ask and be ready to accept it if they say no. A lot of people will be like, I'm so sorry, I can't help. And it's like, it's okay. Like we ask because we want to know, so that's what I say is grants, sponsors, asking the homies, saving myself. Yeah. Good question. Great question. All right.
And one more, hands?
One more. The heat is dissipating. I can breathe again. This is great.
Oh no, oh yay. Okay, so my question is probably a little more silly. If we had to go I'm not even gonna talk about scripting. If we're going from thumbnailing to roughs to lines to flats to rendering to lettering, which is your least favorite step and why?
My least favorite part? Oh my goodness. That's a really good question. I think it's the penciling, which is the hardest part to me, because I think that the roughs, this is the part where you get to experiment and like figure out like, what is it that I'm trying to get across, and so this is the part that I feel takes up a lot of brain work, but not the kind of brain work that is exhausting. It's the exciting kind. It's the exciting kind of work that's like, I can't wait to start on this project. So doing those roughs are so fun. Then the second you get to pencils, it's like, well, now you got to execute. You said you wanted to draw this dragon. Good luck. So I find myself dreading the pencil stage a lot, because past Steenz has grand ideas of what I'm going to be drawing. And it's the pencil stage that's really like, well, now you have to like walk the walk instead of just talking the talk. But the inking stage can be really fun, because that stage you started off with something, and so now you have the opportunity to like mold it and make it perfect, and taking something that's already kind of mostly done and making it perfect is so much easier than just drawing from scratch. So yeah, I also don't really care for coloring, mostly because it just takes up time, and I'm so impatient. I see how long it takes to color a page, and I'm just like, can't I just pay someone to do this? And a lot of the times I do. Because there are colorists out there. There are flatters, and that's what their jobs are. So if like you want to do it, go off. Take this off my hands. But yeah, so I say it from most enjoyable to least enjoyable. Most enjoyable is roughs, inks, and then colors, and then pencils. and then drawing the cover. I'm not a, I don't think I'm a very good illustrator. I don't think in static. I think in sequentially. So when they're like, think of one image that like encapsulates the whole comic, I'm like, no one can do that. That's an impossible thing to ask of me. But I talked to other like cartoonists, and a lot of them have this problem, and so it makes me feel good to know that I'm not the only one who struggles with drawing covers. But that one's hard for me on a mental level because I don't really think that way, you know. But great question, great question.
All right, we got some administrative work to cover, which is just thanking everyone who makes this possible. So thank you to Betty's Books for hosting us.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank Kat, who is running tech for me tonight, because I get to be on screen interviewing Steenz.
Thank you.
Want to thank our chef Teddy for these lovely wings. These were
Yay!
delicious.
Thank you, Teddy.
I'd like to shout out Okidia, who did all of the graphics promotion work for Comics U this year.
Yay! Thanks, Akia.
And then, for my final trek, I'd like to thank Alan for this last special gift.
Alan has a last special gift.
So we had to celebrate somehow, so I asked Alan to design a little graduation topper for you.
And it's me. Oh my goodness. This is great. Oh my god, do I get to turn the thing from one side to the other?
Yeah, it's whatever you want to do. So
I don't know which side is which.
it doesn't matter at
Does
this
anyone
point.
know? Has anyone graduated from college?
Recently?
Okay, great. Could someone tell me to do it? All right. When do I go? When do I switch?
Whenever.
Okay.
There it is.
Yay!
And that's Comics U 2025!
Oh my goodness.